activities, not just in the recent past, but consistently. And more recently, 22 fishermen were arrested by and detained, and even as we are speaking, are still arrested and detained by Ugandan police. And several of our islands have become territories of Uganda. One of which is in my constituency, Remba Island. Most people only know of Migingo Island, but our islands are consistently under attack from Ugandan forces. And I would therefore want to say categorically, as the Member of Parliament of Mbita, that we are putting the government on notice that if the government is unable to resolve issues relating to fishermen and their security and protection, we will immediately move into Article 1(2) mode. That we will deal, all our governors were elected, all our MPs were elected, all our MCS were elected, and it is not a secret that there was no president elected in our area. And as we speak now, we are therefore under a direct mode, meaning we can take what we call in our language oporo and go to a public place and shout, please come to the market. We make decisions and move on. Because you cannot have a government that the only time they produce the security is when they are coming to kill our people. We lost more than 60 lives. We have many people who are maimed, many people are injured, and the only thing the government can come to do is do PR exercise through the governor of Nairobi and giving money where we have already contributed money. Many of us have spent more than $1 million a person in treating our people who have been shot and maimed by the government.
Past the boundary of Kenya and Uganda, right inside Kenya, and terrorize, even at times, take money from the fishermen from the Kenyan side. And this is something that we have talked about for years and years. I remember in the 10th Parliament, when the issue of Migingo was very, very hot. Some of us even went all the way to Uganda. I remember we went with the MP for Nyatike then. We went also with the Minister for Foreign Affairs then and International Relations, the Honorable Moses Wetangula. And we agreed that Kenya government and Uganda government were to contribute money which we approved in that parliament, to go and put clear boundary between Kenya and Uganda, so that this perennial and persistent fight over fishing territory becomes a thing of the past. The government has deliberately ignored the cries of the people who fish in Lake Victoria. And Ugandan security comes all the way to Kenya. They do not only come to Migingo, to occupy Migingo Island, or even Remba Island, or even other islands like Ringiti. They even come to island like Kiwa, which is just right inside Kenya. And that is in my constituency. So what we are telling the government is this. We know you hate the people of Nyanza so much, but this is about the territorial boundary of Kenya. It is about the integrity of the country called Kenya. The president, Uhuru Kenyatta, who purports to be president, the one thing that he swore to do was to protect our territorial integrity. And as we speak, he has done nothing for the 4.5 years that he has been the president. Before even we start talking about self-determination, etc., we are still in the country called Kenya. We are still in one united nation called Kenya. I want to speak to our security forces and speak directly to Inspector General Boynet, who is responsible for internal security. Because this is not even a matter of international security. This is not a matter of defense on our country. This is about some people coming inside Kenya. It is about internal security of our country. We don't even want to call them security forces from Uganda because we don't know. We don't know whether they are thugs, which has no connection with the government of Uganda. So what we expect Inspector General, whom we put his office as an independent office in the Constitution, taking instruction from no one, but himself, must come out clearly and defend the people of Kenya from unnecessary attacks, from frustrations that is ongoing. And we are not going to allow this to continue further, lest we are told where we belong. If we don't belong to this country, we should be told that you don't belong to Kenya, so that we find where we belong. But if we are still part and parcel of the Kenyan nation, we must be treated as such. Inspector General of Police sent so many police officers to Nyanza in the eve of the so-called October 26th election, with machines, with vehicles, with a lot of things. Why can't we deploy that kind of force to protect the people of Kenya, when we deploy them to protect ballot boxes, which were meant to conduct an illegal exercise? Why don't we use the same force and power, the resources that we are wasting, that we wasted in Kisumu, in Migori, in Busia, and many other places in this country on 25th, 26th, and 27th, and even after 26th? Why can't we deploy the same resources? All of us are taxpayers. We should not be treated as refugees in this country. We are taxpayers, and that is why you see Kenyans are now debating even seceding. Because when you have a system, a government that does not regard you, that does not treat you as if you belong to this country, then the next question you ask, then why do I continue to pay taxes in this country? Why should our people continue paying taxes when their taxes cannot shield them and protect them from people who come to terrorize them? It is not civilized. Let me tell Boynet, because he's a person whom I know we respect his office still. Even if I don't respect him as a person, but I respect that office, the office of the Inspector General, and he still occupies it. So let him act, and act now. Protect our people. We want to hear communication today, not any other day, about the people who are arrested, the Kenyans who are arrested and necessarily taken to Uganda. And we want to hear today, and not even tomorrow, what is going to be done so that we don't see recurrence of this. Because it has become, today they are arrested, we talk the way we are talking, then they pay, our people are forced to pay some money, they come back, then after 1 or 2 months, they are again arrested. We don't want to see the recurrence of this thing. Thank you very much. I know there are some of my colleagues. The MP for Nyateke is here, and we'll also have maybe 2 more MPs to make the contribution. Thank you.
Allow me to join 2 of my colleagues who have talked about the frustration of our people in Lake Victoria. My constituency, that's Nyatike, is bordering Tanzania and Uganda. We border Tanzania both at the lake and land, and Uganda in the lake. Why are we not complaining about Tanzania? Because Tanzania has not invaded our land. Why are we complaining about Uganda? Like in my constituency, every morning, we have 2 flags of 2 different nations being raised in my constituency every morning. The Ugandan flag is in my constituency. The Kenyan flag is in my constituency. And we have a president in this country and is quiet about it. Me, as the MP of Nyatike, I'll only recognize the president of this country if he'll stand to defend the border of this country. If not, me and my people I'm representing this parliament will resist. And will continue resisting, even if the resistance of the NASA will end. As the people of Nyatike, so long as we have the flag of Uganda in our constituency, we'll continue resisting. We cannot be colonized in our own country, and we purport to be in a government which is silent, a government which is in bed sleeping. We cannot. As we are talking today, when our fishermen are arrested in the lake, they are forced to eat raw fish in a country like Kenya, where some of us, our fee were paid using that kind of business. Now, if we are stopped from doing that business, what are we going to do immediately? I want categorically say here today, if the government is tired of Nyanza, we are ready to go alone. We cannot force ourselves in a marriage which is not working. Let them declare. We have to redefine our relations with this government. But we are not going to force ourselves in a relationship where we are not benefiting. We are only being milked dry. We are Kenyans and we have a right to get our rightful share in this government. We are not pleading for it. We are demanding. Thank you.
Thank you very much. May I also add my voice to the colleagues who have just spoken. As the women representative of Migori County, which is largely bordering this lake, it is a pity that we keep repeating and we've kept hearing the same cry in every other parliament that comes to be in Kenya. I would like to strongly condemn what our fishermen are going through in that lake as inhuman, demeaning, and that kind of banditry or unacceptable behavior of the said Ugandan government is not accepted. We are asking the government of Kenya to come out and tell us what is this relationship between our government and the president or the government of Uganda that is meant to sell our people, sell our birthright, sell our water, sell our men who are the breadwinners of the children and the women in Nyatike, in Beta and all these other places. We are saying today that we don't just want to hear what our Inspector General is saying. We want to see action taken. We want these people back. We want our borders safe. I think this is the clean message that we are sending. And as our colleagues have said, we are going to take action. We are not just going to lie low and see our people suffer. We are ready to do it, and we will do it. Thank you very much. Mheshimiwa, you can say very briefly, and then if there are any questions.
I'll be very brief,
That's what I'm saying.
because there's a bigger picture here. As a member of parliament for Seme, where we also have islands, we actually have 3 islands, we are concerned because if we see the movement of Uganda from Migingo, now it is in Remba, we don't see where this is ending, because the next time it will actually be the Rusinga Island itself, Mufangano Island itself, and for people to understand that there is actually a deliberate neglect of the borders around the lake. It would be equivalent to if you had people, Uganda, coming to Bumala in Western. That is what would be the equivalent of what is happening in the lake. It would be equivalent, like if you had people coming from Tanzania to Taveta and arresting people in Taveta and going back with them to Tanzania, and nothing is done. It will be equivalent to people coming from Ethiopia and coming to Moyale and beyond and arresting Kenyans and going back, and nothing is being done. It would be equivalent to people coming from South Sudan and to Lokichogyo, Kakuma and Lodwa and arresting people and going back, and nothing is done. Do you really expect that if people in those areas were actually arrested, nothing would be done? You would probably see the whole Kenya Defense Forces being moved. Why is it that when it is happening in Nyanza, in these islands, nothing is being done? We started with Migingo, nothing happened. Now they're in Remba, nothing happened. And now I've been told that Rusinga has been affected, nothing has happened. The next will be actually the bigger islands. So there is deliberate neglect of the lake borders. And I've given you what it would be equivalent to if it was on land. Ask yourself, would we allow it if people were arrested in Moyale, Lokichogyo, Kakuma, Taveta, and Bumala, and nothing was done by the government of Kenya? If the answer to that is no, then ask yourself, why is nothing happening in the island in Nyanza?
Question. In regards to, we want to know how many fishermen were arrested and they are paid currently. My second question is about the motion to do with the People's Assembly. We know that it's been debated in different county assemblies. Will it be forwarded to all the 47 county assemblies, or it will only be the NASA counties?
Well, we really didn't want to address the issue of People's Assembly here because this was meant basically to stick to the fishermen. But that question, I think, will be addressed appropriately. However, what is wrong if the motion is sent to all the 47? Those who want to pass it will pass it. Those who want to kill it will kill it. And it will continue. And I think yesterday, if you listen to a press statement that was released by Wetangula and the rest, they were very clear on what will happen for those countries that will have not passed that motion. So I don't want to get back there. The issue of fishermen to us is very critical this morning, and we wanted to remain with it. The issue is there are 22, if I'm not wrong, and the 22 are arrested, and they are still detained. So we are asking, first, they must be released, and it is the government to get them released. That is their work. Two, we want to know why are they being arrested, why our fishermen and women being arrested quite often within the country. They are not outside the country. They don't do their business outside the country. They don't do the fishing outside the country. They are being arrested right inside Kenya. And we are saying, if the government has surrendered part of this territory, we should know this is continued economic marginalization of the people of Nyanza, because our biggest economic activity is fishing. But finally, we need to stop Museveni from this expansionist approach to his territory. He has tried it many times, and our government is just silent. There was a time I even said that we should stop Museveni from exporting his dictatorial tendencies to this country. You see, Museveni is just a dictator in Uganda, a terrible dictator. And our government is allowing him and giving him space so that his dictatorship also affects us who are not his citizens. We are not his subjects, so to speak. And that this is being done with the express knowledge of the government. I think you have been answered. Thank you.
Thank you.